Hello, hello, hello. We are back again for our 10th episode. I can't believe it's 10, though.
A 10.
I'm serious, like...
I know.
I feel like we just started it. And now we're already, 2 months?
We have a podcast.
We have a podcast.
We have followers.
I know.
We have people.
We have subscribers.
People writing in. People
Us
emailing.
Average Joe
people find our cards.
Yeah. The goofballs.
This is crazy.
This is insane. Well, we should completely end it now since we made it to, 10. That's like a Netflix series.
I know.
And then they just cancel it after one season.
It's like season 1, episode 10. Just when you think it couldn't get any worse. Where they talk about
men's health.
Indubitably.
Okay.
Tomorrow starts men's health.
I didn't announce this on Facebook like I normally do. I usually have a detailed little menu for everybody. I got a couple comments on that too as to why I don't do that anymore, so I better start doing it again. We'll throw out a couple of the little tidbits that we got just to be funny before we start our seriousness. How dare you take my teapot?
It's because you've had 2 cups already and I've had 1.
It's because I'm sleepy, so I had to have caffeine. So, before... Oops. That's Ashley. Which, she isn't here again today. She's having, technical difficulties. But she'll be back. She's just, she has to replace her batteries. How about that one? That sounds about right. Let's see. Besides the 3 that we're gonna read, I had gotten 4 different funny ones. I'm just gonna throw out.
Funny
Don't give me
ones.
eyeballs. It's funny. Okay. Trash talk people. Is Hoss Jonathan Myers?
No, I don't know who you speaketh of.
I think I know his family. Is he still with that one psycho? Which I don't know what that means, but
Well,
I saw his grandma not too long ago. Don't know who it is.
no idea, but can't really say psycho, it's there's so many.
Maybe they're talking about your dog.
Oh, which one? I've had so many.
I know, exactly. See? Maybe with that one psycho.
I don't know. Dogs listen.
Bye, Bieber. This is Steve. Leaving for the day.
Work,
his
work, work,
Amazonian job. Oh. Sorry, Steve's trying to give his husband over there some lovin's.
Yick.
You know I'll make you horny, baby. Yeah.
It's a Steve break, everybody. Hide your kids.
Yes. He is rated NR.
Well,
Not
somebody knows who you are.
Not rated for the public.
Via email. So, just so you know, somebody knows your identity, Superman.
Gasp.
Gasp.
He's a super freak.
Okay.
He's a very
Second one, like I said, these are very short, so I'm just going to get them out of the way so nobody thinks that we're ignoring them, because totally not. Just had a whole lot going on in the last 2.5 weeks, I guess. Well, longer than that, I'm sure, but that's how it feels sometimes. Trash talk. Will Moxie be back on? She wants to. She's messaged me 1,001 times, said that she wants to. So yeah, I would say yeah. She'll be back.
She'll be back. She just she got a lot of stuff going on in the home life, so
Yeah.
she's just gotta.
She gotta unwind.
Get a handle on that before she can link up with our schedules.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Said I'd love to hear more about her story and hear more from kids my age. It was really nice because most of the time teens are kind of brushed off as lunatics because of their quote unquote hormones. I'm tired of my mom making me feel like an idiot. Poor
We've
thing.
been there.
Yeah, she'll be back. She just busy. She's busy doing her teen things, hanging out with people, cleaning her room. She wants to organize and do all that crazy stuff, but she'll be back. That's Steve. All right, third one. Since you're gonna be doing all the long ones, I'm giving you a little breather to do your tea and your honey. It's all that. Bye, Steve. Okay. Trash talk peeps. It's weird as hell writing an email because I haven't done it in so long. Okay. I just have one question. Is the rumor true about y'all having an affair?
Oh, man.
I work with someone, LOL. I won't mention her name, but is it true what she's saying? All of us really want to know.
Yeah, well.
No.
That could go both ways.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. There may be about a 0.0000001% chance of anything that is being said is actually true. But
Yeah.
the problem with that being is nobody wants the truth. They want the rumors because they're so much more extravagant.
They're
when you-
interesting.
When you actually, we've run into so many people in the last 2 years who have like, oh man, I heard this and I heard that. I heard you guys were having an affair. I heard you guys were all sleeping together.
Some of them were actually really clever, though.
Yeah.
Like, I would have never even thought of something like that.
It's
That's straight up far-fetched Lifetime movie.
exactly.
Far-fetched,
Now-
but absolutely not. We were actually separated before we had even like spoke about something like, hey, let's go get coffee. So as much as the lie, I guess, is so much more interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep doing what you're doing, I guess. If it builds like, you know, that ooh and ah factor that you know somebody that did something
Which
crazy, but the
that
truth is so much more boring than that. We did not. But
that directly links to what you posted earlier about.
did I post a meme?
No, it's the actual post on the website.
Oh, the Facebook post, the smear campaign.
Smear campaign. That's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. Basically, the narcissist lost control of the situation, lost control of their victim. So they got worried and scared that they lost everything. So they turned around and created a smear campaign telling whoever and however they pleased their version of the story to kind of put it out there faster. Even though 90% of the story was false, it's still...
There's probably like one or two things that she did say that was probably true, though.
Yeah.
There's a couple things, but
Like I
as
said,
far as
but-
like the affair or, you know, someone like betraying her or anything like that, even people like in her past, it all came out to be like this big, because she felt like she was burned a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
She was just like mean and vicious about, hey, I gotta get revenge somehow.
Exactly.
So that's all it was. But like I said, if it floats your boat
Yep.
to believe the lie, because I'm not even gonna lie, it's pretty damn interesting. If I wasn't me, I would literally be not all over that, but I would be questioning some people. I would probably be nosy.
We've got...
I would be
yeah,
like, well,
we've-
hey, hold up. What do you mean that somebody I know had an affair? But
Yeah,
to each their own.
we've run into probably, I would say, about 15 to 20 different versions of the story. Because, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, when I was in elementary school, we did it was like I forget what kind of test they did, but they basically you'd start off saying something simple you'd be the carrier and you'd say, hey, the duck is,
You're talking about phone call.
yeah, that's what I was thinking it was called. Like you start off saying, oh, Mrs. A went to the cafeteria and got bad food.
And it would have to go around the whole room.
Yeah, Mrs. A went to the cafeteria, got bad food. Turns out she got sick off of it and she went to the hospital and went home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then by the time you pass that story along to 20, 30 people, Mrs. A is no longer here. She went to heaven. So it's like...
It was insane.
Yeah.
Like, every single time, it was wrong.
Exactly.
It was wrong.
In this
And
person's...
so over-exaggerated.
In this person's case, it's more so... Chances are... Now, this is a
I
typical...
apologize for my phone making noises. I'm going to turn it off.
This is typical narcissism where the narcissist will fabricate the most far-fetched story to make herself or make themselves the victim and get as many supporters as possible while slandering or aka smear campaigning, and they actually forget what they told the original people.
Yeah.
So then they try to remember bits and pieces of it. So then by the time they tell the 40th or 50th people, it's a whole different story.
Oh, God, yeah.
So person A hears, oh my God, they had an affair. Person B hears, well, I wasn't the greatest person. Person C hears, they did this for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Well, considering the one text that we got that one morning where they apologized for believing like the lies and stuff like that, never figured out who that was, but it was nice to know that it does end up happening the way they say that it will, that their character will eventually show. You can't hide your true self forever, so
God,
it's just one of those things. But like I said, there's no hard feelings. We don't even really think about it too much, not until somebody asks us, and then we're like, yeah, I mean, we're pretty open books, but
oh God, yeah.
For the most part, we just try to not like so much like move on because we've already moved on, but we try to like switch the subject because the only reason we're telling our side of the story is to help other people who were in the exact same situations as us, or about to be, or just need kind of like that push, like, hey, you can go through something like this and work through it and be better people at the end of it. So
to answer your question, no, it's not true about what you heard about the affair.
No,
that is the most far-fetched story. So
there was no cheating, there was no affair, there was no wild, like, what was the other
love
stuff?
triangle.
Like, oh yeah, love triangle. There was no everybody swapping each other's partners and
this ain't no swingers here.
love children. There's a lot of love children sleeping like in the same bed, all sorts of stuff. So no, none of that. I could probably think of like a couple more things if I set my mind to it, but that was so long ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard it in so long. So to answer your question, no. And then the last one that we got is, well, I think that we kind of already answered by goofing off. But it says, Dear Trash Dog, this is a question for Trish. How did you go about getting out of that situation? And that is capped. It's totally cool if you don't want to answer, but I'd love to know because that gossip was insane. I mean, I think I pretty much explained it already.
Yeah.
Don't give fuel to the fire. Just ignore it.
What is it you said? A situation only has power if you give it power.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you enable it, then of course it's going to continue. Yep. If you ignore it, it'll go away.
First, your step one was to isolate yourself away from the situation. So therefore, when you take the gossip away from the narcissist and you stop giving them a reason, aka giving them power, the flame will soon, tremble out. And they'll run out of people to say stuff to, and eventually it'll not add up.
They'll
So
get bored.
that's when all of, our listeners as well as people we knew started filtering back in saying, man, I just realized that I was part of something that I shouldn't have been, and I finally found out the truth. Let me hear your side of the story, because that's how you did it. We removed ourselves from the situation completely. We pretty much did a clean slate, and we waited for the story to die out and people would come ask us for the truth. And that's how you get away from it. You stop giving it power.
Yeah. Because all it is just someone, feeling like they're losing power over something, or they're losing control of said person, which obviously they did. And as long as you keep, because a lot of people think that it's just innocent gossip, or that it's innocent, venting, or something around that specific feeling.
They were mad, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's not your story, so it's okay, or y'all are just joking, or it's, just snide or rude remarks, and she's allowed to blah, blah, blah. That is all true. But if you're adding to the issue, and it just steadily is the only topic that y'all are bonding on, it's a smear campaign. So, and we posted that. Like, if it starts getting way out of control, just remove yourself from the issue. Either change the subject, or avoid the topic, avoid the person, whichever you gotta do. But if you continue on with it, like, it's never gonna die out. And then that's all y'all are gonna have in common. Move on. Just
if you're around somebody and you notice that all they do is trash talk other people, they don't actually, it's like, oh, did you see so-and-so today? Or did you see this? Or look at so-and-so, how they're dressing. Chances are they are part of that smear campaign.
Yeah.
They are one of the abusers, the bullies.
Yeah. If they can pretty much sit there and talk about those people, you need to remember that eventually it can happen to you too.
Yep.
So, and we were just easy targets because we didn't speak up about our abuse. We didn't speak up about how things actually were. We just kind of, kept it in our close little knit family and thought that eventually it would work itself out, and it never did. So, and then once you get out of it, everybody's like, oh, well, you never told us that, and you're just saying that because I heard this and this and this, so it must be true.
Yep.
So we were easy targets. I'll admit that. But how I got out of the situation was not fueling the fire. I continued working on myself, going to therapy, taking accountability for the things that I did do. Just growing as a person, building a different life, being honest about my story, helping people out, that were in similar situations, and just kept my mind off of it. I know it's more easily said than done. There were a couple days, probably more than a couple days, where it was just hard. So have those days, feel what you're feeling, but just remember your ultimate goal in life. This is where you want to be, then you need to work at it. And that's all I did. I just ignored it and let it die out on its own. Every great now and then, I'll go to like Food Lion or Walmart or Target, and I'll see somebody that's being just absolutely rude, and I'll just laugh at them and just walk away. Because those people aren't in my everyday life, so it doesn't really matter.
There you go. I was getting ready
to
say something along those lines.
It doesn't really matter. Like, those people are peopling.
They're pretty much...
they're not a part of your everyday life. So just keep doing what you're doing, That's how I put it. I hope I answered those little emails, so
especially
I didn't want to not answer them because we kept getting those.
Especially if you get the people that are like, hey, I'll hang out with you, I'll talk to you, I'll be your friend, this, that, the other, and then the minute they hear something, they switch sides so fast.
Oh, God, yeah.
That being said, if they don't feed you and they don't finance you and they're not part of what makes you go, you don't need them.
Go juice.
You just don't need them.
Yeah. I had a ex-coworker be rude to me just out of the blue the other day while I was at Wawa. And I just laughed. I was like, okay. It's no sweat off my back. It's just one of those things. Some people are having a hard day. Some people are just being dicks. If you can't control, the situation, if it's not really affecting you, it's just one of those things where it's like, well, why were they mean to me? Sorry. I hit my teapot. Well, why were they so mean to me? It's on them, man. It's their own insecurity. They got something going on in their life. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's you.
That, and it takes nothing to be nice. So
Yeah.
if they're having a bad day and they can't separate their feelings from, say, a rude customer that they got, and they turn around and project it on you, then chances are they're not part of who you need in your life.
Yeah. Everybody is, in your life for a reason or a season. So it's up to you to figure out which one you want that to be. And if they're not for you, man, and they're making you feel bad, then I think you know your answer. So yeah, that answers our little itty bitty emails that we got. And any more questions that y'all may have, go for it. Just keep sending them. They're funny to me.
Well.
And then we'll jumpstart into men's health.
Yeah.
By the way, this was Haas who looked this up.
Yeah.
And found this out. So congratulations, my man.
Now
because literally I had no clue. All I was thinking about was Father's Day.
Well, no,
Father's
this
Day
isn't
coming up.
trying...
And Pride Month.
That's what I was going to say.
About.
Stop stealing my words.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say not to shadow Pride Month, which June is National LGBTQ month, so it's that's gonna a whole nother episode later on this month.
I'm telling you, bro, like we're going to a Pride parade this year.
I know. It's gonna
and we're gonna post all over the place. We're gonna let everybody know.
You're damn right.
Just
We're
how
gonna take
gay
business
we
cards.
really are.
We're gonna take the cards. We're gonna hand them out. We're gonna this, that, the other. We should get on Etsy and get some T-shirts made with the podcast information.
Don't tease me.
I'm serious. To wear.
I'll do it.
Because word of mouth is the greatest thing.
And I
obviously.
totally know people that make shirts.
Hey, bada bing, bada boom. Hey.
And they would love it because literally they would get a bunch of people saying, "Hey, your shirts are amazing. Where do you get those made?" So we could literally work together here.
So, without further ado, this is kind of a long email. Well, there's actually 3 of them, which we're going to try to get to, all on today's episode. If not, with...
I won't leave you alone. I'll read one of them since one of them's long. There's 2 long ones, and then there's one that's just
Well, the second long one is my doppelganger.
I was about to say.
It's pretty much...
should take that one.
With the second... You know what? Let's start off with that one.
Yes. I'm for that because I like it. Just in case we run over, because if we run over, we can always put that into another episode. Yeah, I'm down for that because I like this one. So
this guy is pretty much the exact thing with a few little details that are different in which my story came about. So it's a direct relation.
Yeah.
And I consider myself an expert on the matter because literally I went through it. So.
Are you fluffing your feathers
over there? Don't mind if I do. I'm puffing my chest. Anyway, yeah, so.
We were actually supposed to read this too, a little side note, forever ago. But like I said, we had so much stuff going on. But we received this month. Yeah, it's the 5th month. Yeah, so we received this on the 9th. I don't think he ever said to keep him anonymous or anything, but I'm still going to.
Well, he did say, I'm able to say it without fear of it getting out.
Yeah.
So no names.
Without further ado.
Yeah, so yeah, just if you're still listening, buddy, we hear you and we're going to read it. So it reads, Dear Trash Talk. This is probably going to sound so bad, but it makes it easier because I'm able to say it without fear of it getting out. Thanks, by the way. But I can't stand my girlfriend. I'm literally at the end of my rope. We've been together for 9 years, and I feel like if I keep going, I'm going to have worse issues on my hands. I've tried being there for her, being understanding, caring about her feelings, her wants, and her needs. Hell, I barely ask her to help me around the house anymore because it starts an argument where she claims it's unfair when literally I just want it to be 50-50. I just feel like she wants me to do it all and not to ask her to lift a finger. I think I've literally created a monster by not saying anything for so long. I knew she was going through a lot with her family and she had bad relationships prior. I just wanted to show her men can be different than what she was used to. I was raised by a single mom, so naturally I have a soft spot for women between growing up seeing my mom be superwoman for our family and also being the only boy. I have 2 sisters. It made me probably a walking target for someone to take advantage of me. And trust me, right now I feel like a sucker, but also I feel guilty for wanting to end our relationship because I know it's going to devastate her. I understand if she really wanted to keep me, she would have treated me better, but it still doesn't make me feel any less guilty for finally just having enough of the manipulation. I don't want to hurt her at all, but I don't want to be treated like someone's maid or ATM either. Right now, my checks go to the house and most of the bills because I make more, but she will recklessly spend hers knowing the bills are paid already. She doesn't offer to help. If I'm not overly ecstatic about the things she's bought, she gets mad at me. I just feel like I'm here just to pay our bills and be her metaphorical punching bag when she wants to vent about work or her friends being rude to her when she's super rude to them, so I can't blame them for being defensive. But if I don't agree with her, even when she's clear as day wrong, it starts an argument and she gives me the silent treatment. I'm just at a loss. I wanted to marry this girl 4 years ago, but now I'm damn near scared to because communication is completely off the table and she knows how important this is to me because I watched my mom and dad argue almost my entire childhood, and I didn't want that for my future. I wanted a committed partner, someone I can grow up and grow old with, raise kids together, go through the ups and downs together, not someone who doesn't respect me, my boundaries, nor my needs as I respect hers. I love her to pieces, but I can't continue being the only one trying for our relationship here. I've listened to a couple episodes and heard something similar. What do you guys think? Am I in the wrong here? What would you do? Buddy, I am probably your most unlicensed therapist on the matter. Like,
I mean,
I've waited for this.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I've waited for this. This is me.
You have, and it's ironic. It's almost kind of scary.
It is to have someone. It's almost like someone knows me and knows the situation that happened and then turned around and was like, oh, let me switch a few words and describe your story to see how you describe it.
Well, I know of this person. I just feel like if I give any type of like details or anything, it'll give them away. So I won't do that. But I will say, I did not realize
it was that bad.
He was going through what he was going through because I know the chick too. And it didn't seem like picture perfect. They didn't bring that off. Okay, so it wasn't like me and you.
Yeah.
But they've been together for like so long, it seems like, that I just figured at this point in time it had already been discussed, like, hey, this is what happened like in my past and stuff like that. And if she clearly knows like his past with his mom, his dad, how they acted, that's comfortability, because that's what Steve did too. It was the comfort of, I know you don't want that, and I know you want me to be your partner, and I know you want me to help, but I'm not going to do it because you've let me get away with it for so
Yep.
long
That's
that now it's just,
I think I've created a monster. Ironically, I did not see that in my situation until it was pointed out to me by my co-host Trish. She said,
not entirely though,
if
because
you told me years ago though.
I did
You said
only because like, so the boys were out there, they were playing cornhole. I think it's okay to say it now. I saw that.
No.
I think it's okay to say it now because it's been like so many years and everybody knows the truth now. So it was the boys back there, y'all were playing cornhole, and it was actually either Jamie or Jay. I can't remember which one it was. But they made not so much like a joke out of it, but kind of like I'm trying to see if what I'm seeing is what y'all are seeing. So they were trying to validate it. But she went out there, she yelled at you.
Of course.
So
Shocker.
can't remember now what it was, but they asked as in like a man joke way, like, damn, it's funny now, but at the time I was like, nah, because I was trying to take up for you. But they were like, man, if Hoss farts wrong, like, she's gonna get blown away. She's so far up his butt.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But she was yelling at you about something, I can't remember what it was. But that's when I started inquiring and asking you. Because before, I didn't ask you anything, but all of a sudden, like, in 2014, 2015 era, didn't you notice I started, like, questioning certain things?
Yeah.
Like, are you okay? Or is everything okay? Do you feel okay today? You just look sad? Stuff like that. Because the guys kept saying something. They were noticing the patterns, I guess you could say.
Oh, don't I know it. So to relate to you, buddy. So
it wasn't totally Trish. I'm just saying the guys noticed before me.
if I was in the exact same boat in a past relationship, as far as, when you get with someone, who's, that's part of the narcissism in them that will, oh man, I screwed up my last relationship, but I'm looking for my next one. So let me tell my next one that everyone prior to them treated me like garbage, which is a way to make you say, well, dang, not all guys are bad. So let me give you the best life you can possibly have, because they tell you all of these things that they did, all of these things that, all the ways that everybody has mistreated them, certain aspects to make them out to be the victim. So you feel sorry for them and you give them the shirt off your back. So like, you've been together 9 years, tired of being here. So yeah, I was the same way. It was all about, her. I got to a point to where, and my mother raised me, to be completely self-sufficient. She said, hey, this is how you do dishes. This is how you do laundry. This is how you budget your money. This is, get out there and cut grass and do what a guy's supposed to do, To be literally, if I was to live on my own in my own apartment, I would not need anybody else.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's fair, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
that's how my mom was, and I was a chick, so.
To go along with that, like, I was the same boat. In this past, I was doing the laundry, for the entire household of, 5. I was doing all the dishes for a household of 5. I was, going grocery shopping and, stocking everything up and cleaning out stuff and vacuuming and shampooing and, deep cleaning and bleaching. And, at the same time of doing all that, I was, running errands or, being a chauffeur. I was also taking care of the outside within, the grass to be cut, the pool to be taken care of. I was doing all of these things by myself with no help whatsoever. And on top of that, working 60-hour weeks, 5 days a week, and trying to get all this done at the same time. So it didn't start off that way, but at the same time, in the beginning, I wasn't always there, because of my, my military service.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was once the narcissist gets the comfortability and reels you in to the point of where I'm a good person, you settle down, or you like you said, you got to the point, oh man, hey, I want to marry this girl, but now I don't because she thought she had you in the loop. Like, she's already got you, like, okay, I know he's going to marry me. We've been together this long, so now it's time to start taking more than I'm giving, which sounds like what you're in now, where you just want it to be 50-50. In my past, I was the one that they knew, just like Trish was saying, how, hers was. They know that they are supposed to play a part in the relationship. They know. They know they're supposed to help. They know they're supposed to comfort. They know, in sickness and health, so to speak. They know it, but they also know that if they don't, the worst that is going to happen is you'll get upset and do it anyway. Like if the narcissist walks past a trash can that's full and overflowing and it smells really bad, knowing that you're a clean freak or knowing that you don't like it when that happens, if they ignore it, they know that you're going to do it anyway. You'll pick up the slack because that's just how you are. That's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it does make you a walking target. I watched my mom and dad fight tooth and nail. I watched, my dad throw his wedding ring at her and then stomp up the road, and she grabbed it and pretty much chased him. I watched this for years, and, I watched my brother, get wrapped up in the wrong crowd. And as bad as it is, my brother was, the firstborn, so he was the favorite. There was nothing that they wouldn't do for him.
Yeah.
As well as my sister. And, my dad kind of jumped on that one, because she was the only girl. So that just kind of left me in the middle with that, watching all the arguments unfold. So I relate to you on that one too. And as far as finally having enough and dealing with the manipulation, it took me years to honestly be able to escape. Years of self-doubt and struggling to find self-worth, depression, suicidal thoughts and, nightmares, erratic sleeping schedule, poor health. It took me years. No matter what everybody told me, hey, that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not this. That's not that. You need to do this. I don't understand it. It was to the point of where the when someone is like that, it is extremely hard when you've been in a committed relationship that long because you've built a routine. You've built a comfort level. Yes, you're paying all the bills and they're spending it recklessly. You know, they say things to you like, oh, well, you know, I work hard for my money. I should be able to, you know, buy myself or spoil myself something, you know, once in a while too. At the same time, it's like, it's not okay for you to buy something, but it's okay for them to buy something. You know, I relate to you. You know, when they get to that point to where they're not helping, they don't want to talk about it. If you do bring it up, they argue. That you are at the point of no return where they know that they have full control over you regardless of what they're going through. I know this all too well. You know, it was a family trait. You know, the mother was like that, the brother was like that, you know, the sister was like that, and it rubbed off so much onto her that she just followed suit because it was easier. So that being said, you said there's not a lot of communication between the two of you, and that's something you want. So I'm not licensed. I'm not, you know, telling you what to do, but if she's not willing to communicate and you've been together 9 years, sometimes you have to put your health first. If it's a one person show, it's going to be a one person show after you leave. I can tell you from personal experience, as well as, you know, other people I know, that when you leave the narcissist or you leave the person who's not making you happy, it's going to be tough. You're going to go through exactly what we went through. You know, maybe with a detail here or there, less, but you're going to find out just how much they didn't love you because they didn't want to work on it with you.
Well, especially if you've already tried, you know, numerous times, not just like, you know, hey, this is what happened in my past, and you know that's it, you never communicated about it again. But if you have, like, on numerous occasions tried, I would say that's pretty much a big ass strike. Just because if you're not being heard, if you're not being validated for how you feel, then it's only going to get worse.
Yep.
Like, I would never sit there and tell somebody, oh, just leave. But if you're trying time and time again with no result whatsoever, and it seems, you know, like you are, obviously, you know, we're not a fly on the wall. We don't know what's going on. But from what you are telling us, if it's one of those things where you're just continuously being, as bad as it is to say, disrespected, then I'd say that's your answer.
The answer is in your words.
Especially since you're validating her feelings. I was rereading it to make sure. I was like, well, maybe he didn't communicate, or maybe he didn't, wasn't thorough or whatever, but he was. Like, every step he took. So
he said, you know, he wanted it to be 50-50. It's gotten to the point of where he stopped asking, which is what I did. He stopped asking for help. You change your entire persona, and this is love bombing. Love bombing is another term, but to be used for this. Chances are she is giving you just enough to give you hope while bashing you in between. She tells you, oh, I'm really proud of you, you know, for doing a good job at work and being recognized. So then your brain holds on to that congratulations. Well, for the next however long time, it's right after that, it's argument after argument after argument after berating to just when you feel like giving up, or just when you feel like, you know what, this is not working, I hate it,
She'll reel you
you're not
back in
happy,
by sitting there
she'll
saying,
give you something else.
yeah.
Like, hey, she'll turn back on the love bomb and be like, hey, I really love you. I don't know what I'd do without you. Let's go out to dinner on a date, me and you. You pick the place, or they'll shower you with a gift like, oh my God, hey, I know he really likes fishing. Let me go out and give you,
You poor man.
let me give you something that I know you like or you've been wanting.
That's sad.
It's, for me, it was, something like, I don't know, it's my, you know what? I don't know. It happened in 2020. 2020,
Really?
I was at my wit's end. It was game over. I was ready to go. And lo and behold, if all of a sudden a random amount of money came in and it was like, hey, I know you really like a certain style shoe and a certain style this. So let's go to the mall, and I'm going to just tell you to follow me into the store, and I'm going to buy you 2 pairs of shoes to show you
that was
how
the
much,
Jordans, wasn't it?
to show
Oh
you
my
how
God.
much. That's love bombing, and I fell
It
victim to
is.
it. So that's...
I didn't know that.
Yep. That's...
Because everybody was, I say everybody, but you know which one I'm talking about, where that one said to you, oh, you can afford Jordans and stuff like that. I remember that.
Yep.
That is crazy.
And it was her idea, because I
Yep.
said I always wanted another pair of retro shoes, and Jordans were really comfortable. And it was fight after fight after fight, because in 2020, COVID shut down practically everything. Well, being
running out of money.
being part of Coca-Cola, I
Yep.
was essential personnel because it was in the beverage industry. So I was working 50, 60-hour weeks, bringing in good money. And then all of a sudden it was just like, oh crap, I'm losing him. Let me turn around and shower him with good job and praise.
And also, making sure that you remembered what she bought you and how much
Yep.
it cost, like when she did run out of money.
Constantly.
Or bringing you down when she thought that your confidence was getting too high.
That was a big one for me,
Yeah.
buddy. It was...
Because that's what I was looking for in the message. That's why I was kind of quiet, because I was reading.
Yeah. It was I know he said something about it.
Yeah, because that's what I was looking for. But yeah, if
Metaphorical punching bag.
metaphorical punching bag. Yeah. My thing was literally him going through each and every single step. Like, you can tell he's been thinking about this for a while if he went through every single step.
Yep.
Because that's how it was for me and Steve and a couple of the friendships that I finally just had to let go. You can only communicate so much before you're finally like,
Yeah.
I'm the only one trying here.
Yep. That was
And it
literally
hurts.
you.
It hurts, man. Especially when they give you just enough to keep
Love
you right
bomb.
there.
If you are, I guess this will be my last take on it. If you are in a relationship, it is a partnership. You share responsibilities, you share bills, you share, everything, because you are joining them in life to share your life with them.
Yes.
If in your relationship, if you are the husband, if you are playing the wife, if you are the maid, if you are the chauffeur, if you are the slave, if you are playing all of those as if like I was, I was the maid doing all the cleaning. I was the chauffeur chauffeuring, everybody around. I was playing the wife duties, trying to help raise a kid, trying to do this, that, the other. That's not a relationship. That is a victim abuser situation.
That's a built-in babysitter.
So that
That's
being
a
said,
built-in chauffeur.
my personal advice, and we are not licensed therapists or anything like that, but I know because it directly relates to my personal story. And I'll put this as blunt as possible. It looks like you've done everything that you can. And if it's 9 years and you thought about marrying her 4 years ago, which means that you're still dealing with this after 4 years, run.
Yeah.
Just get out and don't even look back. Unless, of course, you have maybe, I don't know what your responsibilities are, but, obviously if you have a kid, that's something you got to work on. But
He didn't
not
say
being
anything
married.
about kids. That was another reason why I was looking at the thing.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything about kids. He didn't say anything about them separating prior.
He just said it'll devastate her, but at the
Yeah.
same time, she's not worried about devastating you.
Yeah.
She's throwing you small bones here and there while starving you at the same time.
Yeah.
So
You
there's
right.
there's no, just get out. That's your biggest asset right now is your own health, because trust me, I dealt with it for so long that I was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6 minus now. I was 31 years old and had a mini stroke. My speech was messed up for 2 to 3 weeks. I had memory loss, this, that, the other at 31 years old. And suicidal tendencies. And, my digestive tract was all screwed up, because of stress. My hair was falling out, all of these health problems. I kept constantly getting hurt. It's going to diminish you, because without happiness, your health is going to diminish.
Well, yeah. And also, like I said, it doesn't say it in the note, so I apologize if you've already done it. But if you've already tried, the communication, if you've already tried trial separation, just to kind of get your point across or make your voice be heard. I mean, it's kind of like each nail is another nail in the coffin.
Yep.
When she doesn't respect it or when she doesn't communicate with you properly, especially knowing your past. It's not difficult to communicate with your partner. And I know for Steve's the only example I really got. So for Steve, it's because of his past. There's no excuse to not respect your partner, of course. But if you're never shown that cycle, you're only ever shown like a toxic one, it's kind of easy to pick up on it like this is normal, or this is how it's supposed to be. But then something wakes you up and you're like, oh my god, I was taught wrong, I need to do better, and you do better. But if depending on her past or whatever, for Steve, nobody ever showed him healthy communication.
Yep.
A healthy way of explaining his feelings or putting them into words, even, because sometimes he would just stare off and act like, well, if I'm just quiet, then she'll stop talking to me.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. So
that rolls right into it.
yeah. And that was him just ignoring me.
If I ignore it and I put it off, I know they'll get fed up and stop.
Yes.
Or they'll do it themselves.
And what's weird is that even though I know I made my mistakes too,
Yep.
what's weird is in his mind, he perceived it a different way than I perceived it.
Yep.
As I'm talking to you now is how I was talking to him. And he told me I was raising my voice and all this other stuff. And I was, I may have gotten like passionate about a couple of things, but I never raised my voice to you like I'm going to yell and scream at you.
I've lived with you now for theoretically 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've lived in the same household as him for over a year now. And the only time that your voice gets raised in talking to him is literally when he's being over the top or neglecting things he should not be neglecting. And, or when he's...
Or like chores or something,
Yeah.
or, putting more I guess like roommate responsibilities on us than he has. And then, I'll go to him and be like, look, you wouldn't appreciate it if I did this and
Yeah.
this and this, but that's totally off topic. But
But yeah,
I never raised my voice to him, but in his way of thinking, he's like, well, I shut down because you were raising your voice, or you took a
That
tone with
and-
me or something.
another character trait of that is when you try to communicate with them, and you say, or you tell them that they need to start doing something, or they need to help, or they need to stop taking it the way, because that's not how you're explaining it to them, and they immediately dodge it and tell you you're being mean and insensitive.
Yeah.
That is gaslighting. That is typical in these situations of a person who's been enabled for so long develops that, because it's like, I don't know, it's a manipulation tactic.
I can tell you what Google says. And it says, okay, that gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition.
I.e., they say you're mean in hopes that you will
You'll
turn
stop.
around and be like, "Oh man, I didn't want to come off as mean. Crap, let me apologize
Yep.
for you treating me bad. Let me apologize because now it's my fault." That's a
No.
That's a manipulation.
I'm definitely not saying that, we went without our flaws in our relationships,
Yeah.
but I will say I am better now at being, I wouldn't say more patient, but better with my words. I know I probably, when I was speaking or when I was communicating, I came across like a certain way, and that's not like just, oh my God, he gaslit me. He made me feel like I was mean to him. I'm sure on some levels I probably did come across wrong. It's taking accountability and learning, not only yourself again, but also to correct certain things. So the next time that it comes about, whether another relationship or friendship or what have you, you're not going to repeat the same mistakes that you were doing before. So for our writer, I would say if you have exceeded all of your options, then you've done more than enough, buddy. Like, there's a lot of people who wouldn't even do most of what you have put into your email. Like I said, we don't know you personally. We are not a fly on your wall. But if what you're telling us is how your life is, then I think you've over exceeded pretty much anything that anybody would be doing. I don't know many people who would, besides ourselves, but I don't know many people who would go above and beyond to try and fix something on their own. So my piece of advice is, if you're coming to us, I think you already know your answer.
Yep.
You just probably wanted somebody
To
validate it for you. And I do. I validate that immensely, because that's pretty much what broke up my marriage. I tried for 7 years, though. 7 years.
Yeah.
I was married for 17, and 7 of those I tried.
Yep.
We went to therapy. We tried communicating together. We renewed our vows. We did all sorts of stuff, and it just didn't work out. But it didn't mean that we had to be bitter. So we co-parent really well. We're really good friends. And Kira's happier, our daughter. That's what mattered the most, was Kira having both of her parents and being able to still be in the same room together and being able to communicate. So if you have any kids, totally 100% make sure that your child knows that, hey, you tried. We're going to be better, though. Each of us did something, you know. It's not just like a one-sided thing, and we just got to move on. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, that also being said on the kid part, don't stay together just because of the kid if you're toxic together.
Yeah.
Because if you can't get along with each other and you're constantly bickering and fighting, and the kid's going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
And you're actually doing more harm than good. Fall out romantically, fall out as a couple.
Yeah.
But co-parent like Trish does.
Yeah. And we work way better as co-parenting and being separated, because one thing that we did have was that we were really good friends before we got married, and not a lot of people have that, so I am pretty lucky on that scale, but it took time. He was still a dick like everybody else. But he had a right to, you're allowed to be angry, you're allowed to feel what you're feeling, so you validate each other and you just end up moving on. You grew apart as a couple, but it doesn't mean that you can't grow together as a family. Oh, I so totally did that.
Ooh, last little Easter egg here. Last piece of advice. Be careful if and when you make the move to part ways, because now it may be different for others, but in experience, when you choose to leave a narcissist or someone who's really keen on manipulation, they will do everything in their power to keep you and make you change your mind. Pretty much they'll give you stipulations, or they'll give you scenarios, like, oh my God, if you say, hey, I'm unhappy, I want to leave, I've been feeling this way for quite a while, then they're going to come back like, I can change, I can do this, let me show you, give me a window, give me 2 weeks to show you that I'm the person you fell in love with, let me do this, let me do that, or, oh my, I know you have this you have to worry about, or I know you have that you have to worry about, but you can go out and do whatever you want to do as long as you come back home to me every night.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, wait a second. What is he referencing?
Yes.
Because
so that was
it's
my
like a familiarity. I'm like, what is it?
That was
I know what it
the
is.
personal experience, of when I chose to leave my abuser. I was given so many ultimatums to the point of where I know you said you're unhappy. I know, that you want to pursue other things. You want to go do other things. Well, just please stay. If you stay and you come home to me every night, I'll let you go do whatever you want to do. And when that didn't work, it was, give me a window. Let me show you I'm the person that you fell in love with. They're going to do everything they can to persuade you to change your mind. Now, while it may sound good, it may be like, oh, I should, especially since you've been in it for 9 years, it may be, you might be thinking, I guess I owe it to them to give them a chance. I guess I guess it couldn't hurt. I've already made up my mind to leave. Let me give them a chance to prove themselves. And God forbid, if you do stay to give them that chance, they're only going to last enough to reel you back in to regain control. You have to be strong. I fell victim to that. You have to be strong.
Yeah, but you were also doing the same thing that any of us would have done. Like, I stayed for 7. Mine was nowhere near as bad as what you went through. But
Correct.
as far as friendships, it was like that for me. As far as my relationship with, my now ex-husband. But for him, it was never like there was never a benefit, except he was scared to be by himself. He was scared to start new. It was like normal stuff. And then what you went through, there was a benefit behind it. It was, I'm going to lose my maid.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
going to
lose my ATM. I'm
my
gonna
routine.
Lose, my routine. So,
I know he's going to do everything around the house for me. I know he's going to take me. Yeah.
Narcissistic.
He's going to take me everywhere I want to go.
Yeah.
He's going to bend over backwards to try to make me happy. I've literally have the entire world right now and nothing to worry about.
And I think that's when I started taping a good chunk of what we went through, which is why I have, the videos and the screenshots and, even the conversations that we would have with certain people. I just taped it.
Yep.
Because I knew that it was going to end up being, oh, well, she's just saying that. And I was like, no, it ain't going to happen no more. So I got the proof. I have the proof in the pudding of how narcissism really works. But at the time, I don't think it's one of those things where you don't want to give up hope on the person. You just want to give them a chance to prove you wrong. Because you don't want people to act that way. You don't want people to mistreat other people or continue that toxic cycle. You want them to do better, especially when there's kids involved. So you try, to work with them. Not really stay. You're not staying because you don't live together. But you're trying to help them help themselves. Because ultimately, that's a journey that you have to take yourself. You can lead the horse.
Yep.
To water, but you cannot make him drink. So that's why we tried. And like I said, the lies are so much more interesting, but I don't regret shit. Because I feel like it made us all the people we are today. I wouldn't say better, I wouldn't say worse, but it's definitely a journey. It's definitely a lesson learned.
Hence the podcast was born.
Hence the podcast being born,
to
and why
bring
you beautiful people are writing us.
To bring awareness to everything.
Yes.
That's happening, the rumors, this, that, the other, to shed light on what actually happened.
Well, yeah, because I know it got exhausting for us, but, to the people that we talk to and associate with on a regular basis, it brought in some really great people that we probably would have never met had we not gone through what we did. And also, it brought in people who needed to hear the message that we needed back then. Like, we needed that friend. So we are going to be those friends to tell you that, hey, it gets better.
To be that friend that you needed back then.
And that's our mission.
Trust me, if I could go back
that on Facebook today too.
If I could go back some years and have the advice that we're giving out from personal experience, if someone was there to give that same experience what I was going to make me feel less alone, my life would be 10 times better.
Yeah, you wouldn't have gone through all the drama that you did too. That would have been probably the biggest part, was the drama, the physical attacks, the damages to my poor car because of all the gossip and the crazy people that made it their mission to try and destroy me some way somehow. But like I said, I had all the proof. I could have gone to the authorities if I really wanted to, but it was just one of those things. But at that point in time, I was exhausted. Exhausted. It was so many years, and then trying to get out, and then having to fight all these other people too while trying to get out. It was crazy. So that's our podcast for today. I think we did pretty good, and I didn't want it to run over to another hour and 15 minutes or something, because sometimes we can just ramble.
Although we didn't get to the second reading,
we didn't.
There's always next week for the next reading.
But I warned you. I really thought that it wasn't going to be able to make, which is fine. We will roll it over.
So much come in at one time, you know.
And we got 2 people that have to come on as guests anyway. So I don't know which one we're going to go with next week.
Yeah.
Give me some time to figure it out, because I know either one could come on because their schedule's free. So give me until one day, you guys, and I'll put it on Facebook.
Also, keep your eye open for our cards because listeners have been writing us saying they found our cards everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that was the one that we were going to read. He found ours at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, Planet Fitness,
And Alibis.
Found it at Alibis. Literally not long after we, had lunch, with...
It's like brunch or something.
Yeah, we had a random brunch where we just decided to go, take a day off.
Which we will be there this Sunday, too. So if y'all are actually in the area, check out... Alibis
Cat's
in
Alibi.
Petersburg. Cat's Alibis.
Old Town Alibis is what it's
Excuse
called. Yeah.
me. Us local people are like, it's cats.
Yeah.
But
Facebook
it's Old Town Alibis.
Hashtag Cat's Alibi,
Yep. And Loco Kitty is right next to it. Check it out. It's amazing.
Oh, God, yeah. Same
Cat.
owner. Miss Cat, she owns, both of them. One of them is your typical, okay, we love the brunch because you get
brunch is the best.
A friendly atmosphere, plus you get these abstract breakfast combos. They're amazing.
The French toast that you
had. Dear Lord. The French toast just gets me.
And of course, to our mimosa people, they have like a mimosa flight.
Yep.
You can get like a picture of them.
Pickle flights.
That's if you're into, drinking and stuff. If not, they have a bunch of other different things that has no alcohol. That's amazing.
Oh, God, yeah. That...
I'm telling you, check it out. Her crew is amazing. Her cook is amazing. Her husband is amazing. They're just awesome people. So that's my take on it. If you want to see us, we'll be there this Sunday. With Chomp.
And if you don't want, if brunch isn't your thing, if breakfast isn't your thing, and you just kind of like living the street life, go right next door to Loco Kitty, because Loco Kitty has like some of the greatest street tacos. Like, if only she could mobilize a food truck.
I'm telling you, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for DoorDash or Uber Eats or something
Amazon?
to pick it up because you are a Mexican street corn addict.
Yes. Amazon has a thing up on their board right now looking for a mobile taco truck.
What?
Like the building owner.
Did you do this?
Yes, a month ago. So the building owner of Amazon is looking for a mobile taco truck because it has been probably 70% of the workforce has requested it and they're trying to find one. So if you're listening and you know of a mobile food truck in the Tri-City area that we can get to come down, blessings.
Yeah.
But yes.
100%. So check them out. If you want to see us, we'll actually be there this Sunday around like 10:30ish because we're trying to get on a pattern of going to yard sales and thrift stores and flea markets and stuff again because the weather's turning so nice. So if you want to meet us there, or if you just want to go like a little bit later, you'll actually see some of our cards there. I'm pretty sure the cat finds it funny when she finds them. So.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, one of our listeners that's going to be coming on the show here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We not only did we go to brunch, amazing by the way, but not only did we go to lunch, but we left a couple cards, and it was only a matter of a few hours before she messaged us and said she found one because she was there.
Yeah, it was her and 3 other people.
Yep.
Because we ended up getting like 2 more followers from it and a subscriber on YouTube. So
yep.
Check it out. I fully 100% support this chick because she's amazing. She's really down to earth. And that's not being like a paid sponsor or anything, you guys. That's literally just because I love that place. But y'all take it easy. We're going to let it go because if we keep talking about it, it's going to be forever. So thank you for your support. Boo, boo, boo. Appreciate all your messages, your emails, your cards, your text messages, your random Instacarts. I appreciate it. It's amazing. We're average Joes.
Yeah.
I don't know how to react. Like, I get panicky. So we love you. Thank you. And we will see you again next Wednesday.
To our listener, I wish you all the best.
Yes. And write in again. Like, that was like the 9th.
I mean,
so
as a
tell
matter of
us.
fact, let's do that. Hey, if you listen to this podcast and we read your story and give you advice, write us back.
Yeah.
Let us know what you did.
Give us like an
Let us
update.
know, Yeah, let us know the outcome. If our advice helped you, how it helped you. Give us some feedback.
Yeah.
Other than hey, let me
Well,
write
we
you
had
one
the
time.
one that had to have known somebody because they said that they were tired of seeing like their fake Facebook and stuff when we posted that the other day. So that was the only update we've ever gotten. I
Yeah.
would like to hear
Yeah, give us a
about all the others that we've given advice to.
repeat email. If you ask us, hey, what would you do if you were in the presence of a narcissist, and we give you advice, right back in, hey, I took your advice, or hey,
They know what to do.
yeah, I just. But yeah, let us know. I'm
Yeah.
curious. I want to hear more.
We want to hear not so much the end of your story, but definitely how your story
Yeah.
went afterwards.
We want to hear the
like,
next chapter.
Yeah. It's like a book that
Yeah.
somebody just takes away from you after the first chapter. So for sure, email us back, text us, tell us what,
Yeah.
Life has given you since what, March?
Yeah.
February, March, when people were writing us in. So heck yeah. Okay, we're gone.
Yep.
Beaches, 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 beaches.
I'll make you mine.
Stay safe, you guys.
Yep, and just remember, you can always be part of our world.
Amazing movie, by the way. Okay, bye.